Welcome back to the podcast.
But your first love should be your last one.
And this is a weekly
You look better on me, that's fashion. Won't block your shots, lights, camera, action. Never been to love me over, let me not blame. Every pedal better, tell him better not change. I love you.
And hilarious commentary.
Period. Every week we do a drink of the night. Kendra, what is our drink tonight?
We're back, y'all, on the alcohol.
Yes. Oh, yes, we're back on alcohol.
So tonight's not remembrance
For the month of
for the month of February, we are trying to do all African American owned liquor brands.
Okay, liquor brands.
So tonight we starting out with the Queen Bee herself,
Might as well.
and we're doing a little Sir Davis.
Yes.
So this is called the Honeybee. So you do 2 ounces of Sir Davis, 1 ounce of lemon juice, half ounce of honey syrup. Shake it up, shake it up, shake it up. Pour it in, and then you garnish it with a honeycomb or a lemon.
Cheers.
And honestly, y'all, let's go be honest. It's a whiskey sour with honey in it.
Yeah. Well, when you make sour mix, how you make sour mix?
So basically a whiskey sour. So you do sour mix with egg whites, lemon. It's a whole thing.
Oh, okay.
But it's
Yeah.
sour
same
mix
thing.
is just lemon.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I like it. I think because her whiskey, remember how we talked about it had all those kind of smoky, warm, aromatic notes? I think that works well with the honey.
Of course.
And maybe, I guess she did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Ooh, it would be good hot.
And a hot toddy.
Yeah. So that's the goal this month. That's the goal.
We can do it.
We can do it. I was thinking
That's
about it though.
literally 4 liquors.
I know. So we did Sir Davis. I was thinking we could probably do
Uncle Nearest.
Uncle Nearest, but that's another whiskey. Which whatever, we could do another whiskey drink.
There's I can't think of the name. It's a bunch of black owned. Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there's one down here, and I'll see if I can get some, because there's Copper Compass, which is a rum distillery down here, and they normally have a lot of events and stuff like that where they mix their own drinks, and typically you can buy a bottle. I just gotta get over there one day this month and get a bottle so we can do something with that. I actually met the owner, so
nice.
if we can, we'll try to get them on the rotation. But I think for Black History Month we should do that. I mean, we do a drink every week, right? So like, why not? And especially coming off the heels of what we talked about last week, supporting Black businesses and stuff like that. It's fine to have all these other things we have, but our people have stuff too. And even if they're just the brand ambassador, they're getting a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
And we should support that.
Yeah, it's a bunch.
Yeah.
They have vodka, they have gins.
Yeah.
So.
I know that too, it may be a little bit of work, but I mean, we can figure it out. Because typically the Black owned stuff, unless it's something popular, like Uncle Nearest is very popular, right? Like, so like we could go into any liquor store right now and find that.
But they have a lot of them at like the Total Wines that sell like liquor.
And even if they don't, if we have to like
order it
or something, we can do that.
Because you also have like champagnes and stuff too.
Yeah. I know Black Girl Magic, that's a Black owned wine brand, which I have had their wine before, but maybe we could take a bottle of that with us on the cruise, since we said we were going to take a bottle of wine. But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Work with me.
So it is Black History Month. Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month. What does that mean? That means this is season what?
2.
Season 2.
I was going in the same direction. With it being Black History Month, it's only fitting that we pay homage to our Black-owned, Black podcast. So we've been doing this for a year now, consistently.
Yes. January 30th was our 1 year anniversary.
Yep. Yeah. So clap it up for us. We did that. We said we was gonna do a podcast, and we did that. We did that. Period.
Drink to that.
Right?
Woo!
So definitely proud of us for accomplishing that goal.
Yes. We've had a lot of good chats.
We had
a little chit to chat. We took a little break because we had shit going on. But
and we'll probably take another one. We probably gonna take another one, but
we're here.
I think that's a huge accomplishment.
Yes.
It's not easy.
Fixing schedules, having things to talk about, staying in the know, keeping it lively,
editing every week, staying on top of the social medias, doing all of that.
We got all these drinks.
Yeah. It'd be a lot.
It'd be a lot.
And we're not getting paid. Like, y'all, we definitely do this out of love. This is coming from our heart.
This is our heart's work.
I do feel like it's a creative outlet, and I appreciate the time to bond with a friend. Yeah. I think for the most part, we do treat it like a job. Like, we say we're going to be here. We say we're going to
invest in.
Yeah.
We
do our research.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for. We do the things, and we want to thank y'all for sticking with us.
Yeah.
We want to thank our 120 subscribers.
Period.
I appreciate y'all.
Period. Each and every one of you.
Each and every.
Because to be honest with you, I don't even know if I have 120 friends for real.
Hello.
So I don't know. Like,
thank y'all.
Other than like the 13 people that I know watch every week, I don't even know who the other people are.
Who are you? But I appreciate
But your family.
You are a big fan. Now y'all definitely come on to that cookout. Okay. Yeah. Come on.
The family can definitely come to the cookout. The family can definitely come to
the cookout.
So, it's Black History Month.
Yes. And every Black History Month, there is a theme. Mm-hmm. So this year's theme for Black History Month is African Americans and labor. Focusing on the diverse and significant ways that the labor has impacted the Black American experience across different fields. Key points about the 2025 Black History Month theme focus on labor. The primary theme emphasizes the various roles and contributions of Black people in the workforce, whether voluntary or involuntary, skilled and unskilled, big skilled on the side. The theme aims to highlight the broad spectrum of Black labor experiences throughout history.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Especially, like, it's so interesting how that's the theme this year. And I don't know if they randomly did that or if they had already planned for that to be the theme. And I don't know.
It was definitely probably pre-planned.
But it's interesting how that is the theme this year. And we started off the year by rolling back the diversity and inclusion initiatives at a lot of companies. But the focus for Black History Month is how
we've innovated and changed the workforce.
Exactly. It's
giving predicted the bullshit. It's giving, we trying to let y'all know that y'all still is that. You what that girl. You are that girl. You are that boy. You are that man. You are that woman. You are that non-binary. You are everything.
Exactly. So the Grammys was this past Sunday. I ain't watch it.
I don't really watch those things no way.
Yeah.
I'm not a big...
I literally wait until after the Grammys.
And just look at the outfits.
I
look for the fashions, honey.
And see, like, who won and who didn't win. And, yeah, go from there. I'm going to say this. Congratulations to
Beyoncé and Kendrick Lamar.
Well deserved. And, they did that. Okay, we'll just have that conversation next week. So, how was your week?
So, my week was good. Here I am in my last year of my 30s.
Oh, yeah. Well, stop saying that. I keep forgetting that. Stop reminding me.
In the last year of my 30s, I have a child getting ready to turn 19.
Mm-hmm.
I have a child that's getting ready to turn 16.
Mm-hmm.
I have a child getting ready to turn 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a child getting ready to turn 3.
All across the board.
And I have a grown mother that's getting ready to turn 70 who is working my last nerve.
Worse than the kids. Why is she working your nerves?
So my mother is a woman who likes things the way she likes things.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But I remember my mother being with it.
Yeah.
You know, not saying that she's not with, like she's just not, she's not grasping things as fast as I feel like she used to.
I get that.
And so I'm in a space, have time for very long, drawn out explanations
mm-hmm.
and wasting time.
Mm-hmm.
She's very big on wasting time.
I wonder if it's because she's at an age now where she has so much time.
But when you're wasting other people's time, that bothers me. Okay, so my grandmother is moving into her new place. Mm-hmm. My grandmother's been, when I say my grandmother said, when I was trying to be out of in there 2 weeks ago. And I was like, oh, I think we should wait a couple weeks. We have to get the phone in there. We need to have her decide all the things that she does and doesn't want at this place. I say a couple weeks. And I'm like, Grandma's 91.
Mm-hmm.
In all realisticness, she wants to be gallivanting, as you know Christine do.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to meet new friends, and you doing stuff, and she can't operate on her own time. She has to wait for you to come pick her up, take her to the apartment, and you drag your feet on every little thing. I can talk about it because she don't watch the podcast.
Okay.
My dad.
This will be the one time she watch.
This is the one time she gonna be peeping and peeping.
Then she gonna be calling you, well, Kendra,
right. Why would you talk
Why
about
would you
me?
say that?
Blah, blah, blah. My dad calls me, and he only calls me when he's super frustrated with her.
Mm-hmm.
So, my grandmother needs a TV because her stepchildren gave her husband a TV. So now he's passed. So she took the TV with her to the apartment. They're like, "Oh, are we being petty? Are we getting the TV? That belongs to my dad." And it was in their marital home. But you want this big back ass TV? By all means, take this TV. So I told Mom to get her a smart TV. Right? I said we just do one box for the cable, get her a smart TV, just like a little Roku, mm-hmm. nothing too expensive. Mm-hmm. Well, how does the Roku work, Kendra? And I said, you just plug it up and what? No, just walk me through it. I said, you plug it up, you put the Wi-Fi on it and the password. Okay, now what's next? Watch TV. Well, what about the Roku box? The TV is the box. Well, and just going through this whole thing. So then I talked to her the other day. And so, because I fussed her out about getting the cable. So she finally calls the people. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, she calls me while I'm at work. It's like 10 o'clock. And she's like, yeah, I'm just waiting for them to call me at 5 this evening. Mm-hmm. So that I could tell her what package I want. I said, so you don't have any other questions? She was like, no. She said she would call me back at 5. And then I could tell her the package so we could set up a pickup time. I said, well, if you already know what you want, why don't you just call? If everything's already, basically the notes have been made, just say, hey, I'm calling back. This is my information. I've decided what I want. So instead of you waiting until 5, you guys can go ahead and get everything going so we can have an early time tomorrow.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't understand why you are just dragging your feet. And she's like, I know, Kendra, I know you don't understand. No, like it, and I could tell she was kind of annoyed with me, right? And so then I talked to my dad. I was like, your wife was annoyed with me. He's like, I know. So I was like, oh, she gonna go. But then the day before, my dad called and was like, your mother is pissing me off. They're at the BJ's. And they see the TV. They see the Roku. I guess it was like a whatever it was, but it just had the Roku on there. Very inexpensive. I think it's like a 45-inch for like $200. Something even, or cheaper than that. And so my dad's like, well, she's like, well, I'm gonna talk to mom about it before I get it. He was like, why? She needs the TV. You got to take the other TV back. Just get the TV. What is she going to tell you to do?
Right.
Just get it. And so he called me. He was like, I don't understand why everything has to be that right there. And that is why I'm my father's chat. That is so annoying to me.
But has she always been like that?
She has, but in my opinion, I think as everybody's getting older, people are tired of that shit. Mm-hmm. Make a fucking decision and keep it moving. And the thing is, if it's only you, cool. But when it affects other people, especially like my grandma, that's her life. And she has to rely on you to do everything. You having your timeline because you want things to be perfectly done away. My cousin got her stuff there. And if she don't, that shit goes to Goodwill and that's her own problem. She should have got it when she moved out 2 months ago. Why are you concerned about that? You're trying to...
like accommodate everybody.
Not even just accommodate. You're trying to make people do what you want them to do or what you think they should do. That's not how that works. Get this lady into the place that she want to be at. Her husband has now been gone almost a year. She's tired of being there. She said when he was alive, she didn't want to be there no more and wanted them to move into somewhere with no steps. If you feel, she needs, I said, once her phone is in there and that's in there, you can get her food. Mm-hmm. Put her some stuff in the oven where it's already oven safe pans and all she got to do is throw it in the oven and call it a day. Mm-hmm. And when the pans get there, I said, honestly, she need to be about that house so we can actually go in there and clean. The longer she's in there, the nosier her little butt is too. Mm-hmm. She gets to see the people moving her furniture back in the kitchen. She done moseyed her way onto the living room so she could look out the window to see what's going in the truck. She calls me to complain about my grandmother and I want to say, that is you to me.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. Janae and Jay will be having this conversation when you get older.
I'm like, Jesus Christ. Get with it. Oh, she's so stubborn. It's these daggone Tauruses.
You think so? My mom's a Taurus too, but she is stubborn. And I don't know, because my mom is younger than yours, and maybe that's why, because she's still super young. But she be kind of spunky. In fact, she be moving a little bit too fast sometimes. I'd be like, would you sit down?
Now, you talk about a cruise, and she don't think about nothing. She don't even think she got a roommate. She like, I just booked it. Anybody want to go? Yeah, she can spunk up the stuff she want to spunk up on.
Maybe it's because... I'm not gonna say she don't want to do it, but like maybe it's because it's something that's like, this is not about fun. This is not about just having a good time. This is actually something I got to think about. And it's like, now I got to think about it. Yeah. I got to put things in order. I got to do all this and that. She wants to take her time because she really don't want it. You know how...
I get it.
Yeah, when you got a chore that you got to do, you kind of break it down because you don't feel like doing it.
She has 2 other siblings and she feels like nobody's carrying their weight, so it's all on her. So I get it. But the faster you get this stuff done, you can move on.
I understand where you coming from, but you also got to remember, like, your mom is basically retired. She ain't got nothing else to do but to think.
My parents, their oven broke, I'm going to say 5 years ago, right? They just got a new oven earlier this year.
Because she couldn't decide?
She could not decide. And my father would be like, she'd be like, I know I need to get a new oven. I know I get a new oven. She got a little toaster oven to accommodate. Mm-hmm. Only the bottom oven working, the top oven not working. They finally had somebody come and take the stuff out. So of course, when you ordering it, because like they have a built-in, so you have to order it. They need to do cabinetry and stuff. She tried to drag her feet on that. They would go to the store. My dad would just be like, he got to a point where he said, when you decide, bring me back out here. Don't bring me back out here anymore. Because she will back and forth you for hours. I went to buy a car with it was 3 of us. Mm-hmm. LaToya, we got out there at 12. Now, mind you, we're outside because this is like a used situation like I found on Craigslist. Do you know we didn't? That man had to tell us, "Well, I gotta pick my kids up. School's about to come out," and like she's talking. It is aggravating. It is very aggravating. And as I'm getting older, I don't like. Too much time has gone, and you still are not at your point. I'd be so annoyed. I had to get it out. That was burning up in my soul.
Like, get to the point, Mom.
I'd be like, oh, okay, all right, oh, okay. Like, she wants to tell this whole story. And for me, I don't need a backstory to everything.
I empathize with that.
I don't need a backstory. She gives a full backstory. And if she's talking to you about somebody, she's talking about that person and then trying to give you all of these scenarios in which you would have known this person. And I'm like, I don't know who you talk about. Well, I might have to send you a picture because, we went to this family reunion. I don't know who you're talking about. Can you please tell me why we're having this conversation?
I kind of feel her on that.
No, backstories are not necessary all the time.
My brother say the same thing to me. He'd be like, you be giving me too much information. And then he's like, my ADHD done stopped listening a long time ago. I'm really just trying to figure out the point. But I'm like, but I want you to understand why
I don't care that much. It drives me crazy. I be talking about it. I be like, how did you do this for 30? How old is Terrence? For 41 years. She just talk and talk and talk.
Don't do her.
I'm done.
Don't do her. Don't do her.
So, Christine is getting ready to show off and show out at that daggone senior home. You hear me?
I'm happy for her.
She gonna wobble her little buns up in there.
As she should.
Aaron, Pierre, that's Mufasa. That's how she gonna walk right up in there like, hey, y'all.
I can't wait to hear about her escapades and if she get her a little boyfriend and yeah.
That's what she looking for.
I know. What did I do? A couple weeks ago, I did go to my aunt's 50th birthday party. My mom threw her a really nice birthday party. The theme was like sparkles or glitter or something. The dress code was like sequins, rhinestones, stuff like that. So it was cute. For the most part, everybody understood the assignment. Everybody dressed up, so that was nice. We played games, we danced, listened to music, did all the things, and I think she was happy with it. So that was fun. Book club, Smutty Buddies.
Oh Lord.
It is that the organizer.
The organizer.
It was her birthday, so she had a game night on last Friday, which was fun. I'm actually really forming a deeper connection with them.
Oh, fun.
And I have to be careful because a lot of times I do this thing where I be giving people a lot of energy. And they be like, oh, that's my homegirl. And I'd be like, no, we just associates. I'm members. Just a social person.
Yeah.
But with them, I feel like we are getting to that level of associates.
Fun.
Like, we you know what I'm saying? And that one thing I do notice is that, one, I'm the oldest person there, which is so funny to me because I be forgetting that I'm old sometimes.
Yeah, you are.
And then, I know... And they're all young. Everything's fine. We're talking about books. We're talking about stuff. Everything's fine. And then they'll make little comments. And then I'll be like, that's right. Y'all are young. We had noticed that. So most of these folks live in Virginia or DMV surrounding area. But most of them live in Virginia. And so somebody had made a comment about he lived in Landover. And I was like, oh, I grew up in Landover. And so then when I said that, somebody else was like, oh, I used to go to Kenmore. And I was like, really? I went to Kenmore. What year? I should have never said that. Because when he started talking about, 2000, I said, well, I was in high school. What the hell? But they're anywhere from 6 to 9 years younger than me.
Woo!
I know. And so it don't feel like it when we just talking about books and stuff, but then when we start talking about stuff like that, I be like, oh yeah. And so then he's like, well, wait a minute, I got an older brother that you might have went to school with.
Don't put me with nobody's older brother.
I be like, you know,
don't talk about no other brother, no auntie.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it. So that was fun. Still working through Onyx Storm. I'm about 75% through it. We actually have a meeting tonight, actually. So, yeah, I'm probably, I mean, I'm still going to meet, even though I haven't finished it, but I'm about 75% through it. It's so much I could say, but I'm not going to say it because I can't, that would have to be a whole episode in itself for me to get into that and talk about that, but it's so good. Is Janae reading it?
I don't know what she's reading.
Ask her if she's reading Onyx Storm.
Okay.
But, yeah, so that was pretty much my weekend/week. Anything else going on? Crazy going on? Nothing really. Oh, a couple people have had birthdays so far.
Shout them out.
Like I said, my aunt's birthday was at the end of January. My brother-in-law's birthday was the 1st. One of my homeboys, Trey's birthday is the 2nd. So shout out to the Aquariuses. We'll have another episode, but we got Ruby's birthday coming up. Kim's birthday's coming up. Who else is an Aquarius?
That's all I know.
Yeah, that's all I know too. So yeah, shout out to the Aquariuses. Oh yeah, it's only 37. We got time. So, all right, we in Black History Month. It's just starting. And so one of the things, the main topic for today is modern day African American leaders. So who would you say, or would you say we have any, but who would you say is the new Martin Luther King or Malcolm X today?
You know what? I don't think we have it, but I'm going to tell you who is out here giving them the business.
Who?
Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah.
She said the game she don't play with these people, the way she lines they ass up every time. I love her for that.
Yeah.
And her fullness.
Yeah.
I always love Cory Booker.
Who's that other girl? Tamika. She's an activist. I can't think of her last name right now, but her name is Tamika.
Here we are. I'm not sure.
But I don't know if she's like, you know, a MLK. So the thing about it is, I do think it's helpful to have one person that is able to bring people together. But I feel like for us, we idolize people and we put them on a pedestal. And for anybody to be in that role, it's almost like they have to be perfect. Because as soon as you can have somebody that's doing great work in the community, bringing people together, you can have somebody that is doing great work in the community, bringing people together, and educating.
Tamika Mallory.
Yes. All of that. But then if they've done one thing wrong, people will latch on to that one thing that they did wrong and make that the focus.
Well, the thing is, they did that with everybody, right? So Martin Luther King was not liked, and he was not liked by all black people.
True.
MLK was not liked by all black people. So, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, during MLK's birthday, they chose the better of two evils in their eyes. Yeah. Right? So you have people that were like, and just like in slavery, shut up and do what the master say so we don't get in trouble. You have an eye for an eye, and you have turn the other cheek, right? There are too many of us who feel as if we are not struggling. Right? There is no full boundary of you can't do, right?
Yeah.
Where no matter your education, no matter your job, no matter your this, no matter your that, you can't drink at this fountain, or you can't go to the store, or you can't do such and such. There are the few that are still able to. So it was a time where you have any type of melanin in you. Don't drink here.
It's almost like we're not oppressed enough. Like we're comfortable.
Yes.
We're just comfortable enough to not be radically fighting against the system.
Exactly. We have too many privileges as especially northern Black people of the ability to have, if not equal, more than our Caucasian counterparts, and more so in this area.
Yeah.
Now, even in the South, because of Black people's just will and willingness to get ahead and realizing that no one's going to give us anything, we are forced to work these 4 and 5 dead-end jobs and things like that. I'll say it seems as if, because we're just talking about statistics, our Caucasian counterparts are more likely to be on some type of assistance, more likely to be unemployed and or homeless. Like, it's just kind of what it is. And so I think that what ends up happening, and I think this happens with just in general, because I think I've seen this in like people's families, Black, white, and as however, but when you feel that you're entitled to something, you don't have the motivation to go out here and get it. You think that somebody's supposed to give it to you. And I think that's where you get these like non-independent grown people who feel like parents should still take care of them and always looking for somebody to solve the problem and this, that, and the fourth. It's an entitlement that they feel that somebody's supposed to give you something. Caucasian people have been fed a narrative that somebody owes them something. And so with that, someone has painted a picture that someone else of minority that are in the minority has taken something and we should be giving it back. But because we've always been told we can't, we show up in a way that we have to. I had this conversation with one of my bosses, and he is Caucasian, so I let him in on the secret. But I was saying that you'll have a lot of times, if there are more than 5 Black people together at a workspace, it seems like simultaneously you look around and you say, okay, well, let me go. And he was like, really? I said, if you ever stumble upon that and you have time, you ain't going to be there long. Give yourself about 2 minutes. All of a sudden, you'll see everybody disperse at one time. And he was like, well, why? And I said, because just like how now with the, and we've kind of talked about it, but with the DEIA going away and things like that, and you and I had this conversation like, well, how can they say anything if it's, 5 or 6, 7 Jewish people having lunch together? Well, okay, that looks like a group. It looks like they would say to us, it looks like a gang.
It looks like a gathering.
And so now, somebody's going to report on that. I think somebody's over there having a conversation about how they should do such and such. So I said, things that we have already been contending with for years, nothing has changed for us. This is something that we've always been doing. Now other people are feeling a little bit more uneasy with just being, full stop, just being. It's causing people to see, okay, wait a minute now. I don't want to feel oppressed. I don't want to feel that I can't do. And in my eyes, all you're saying is, I don't want to feel like a minority. And that's the crux of it, right? So I think that for us as Black people, we see a way of how to survive and be comfortable. And the hard truth of it, Matt, and I think I said this last Black History Month, I'm going to just speak for myself. I'm not courageous enough to be that uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really not courageous enough to put my life on the line for other people when I have my own children to raise.
Yep.
And I can't see them going through what Coretta Scott King went through, what the King children have gone through. I'm not built to be a martyr.
Yeah.
I'm not built to be someone who, because there are a lot of people who have passed away just trying to inch us a little bit forward. Very young and unnecessary. And it's like, Martin Luther King didn't get the recognition that he deserved until a long time after his passing. And part of that was because the rebellion was so much. Let's use as they did with the Bible, let's bits and piece his speeches to control the masses. We are too comfortable, and because some of us have gotten out that bucket, we ain't getting back in.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, and maybe we have transitioned into a new era, and so maybe we don't need another Martin, maybe we don't need another Malcolm, maybe we need something different for this era that we're in.
I don't even think they can fully appreciate the struggle of blacks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that after our generation, those 90s babies but 2000 kids will never appreciate the sentiment of what we endured. And I ain't gonna say like it wasn't maybe all the way blatant in my face, but it was close enough. Like my grandmother was a sharecropper,
mm-hmm.
right? So I'm one generation away from that.
Yeah.
So now you have my children who are 4 generations
mm-hmm.
away from that. And they still, even with that, see my grandmother, she can give money for, graduation or help buy a car. So even in her struggle, my kids, they talk about, like, I work a lot because I'm a single parent. Like, I remember my parents were a 2-parent household. And it wasn't like we lived at that time in, like, a mansion or anything like that. My dad stayed working overtime. My mother was going in and staying at work late. I was the one cooking dinner for everybody. My dad would be like, it's gonna make sure I'm up at 9:00 because I need to go to work tonight. It was those things, and seeing how hard my parents not struggled, but how much they put into making sure that we had a good life. And I think that my kids see my parents and their accomplishment, but didn't see the background. They don't see the struggle, mm-hmm. right? And they see, okay, your mom's going to work, this, that, and the fourth. But then they also see when they call, there's never like a no. There's no concept, like full concept of the work that it takes to get to that next point. So I think this guy said, he said that I think he was like, your father did this, so you did a little bit better. And then you did a little, your grandfather, then your father, then you. But you want to make your child's life so easy that it's basically the cycle has to start itself all the way over, where this person ends up having nothing. So that new child's like, I don't want to be like my father, so I want to have this. And so it just creates the cycle all over again. I think that during our generation, it was the best time to have that happy medium of wanting more, but staying in line and understanding the rules of the game. These kids don't want to understand the rules of the game. And I think that we were so bucking against wanting to stay in this box that we never showed them the box and then how we ended up getting out of it. But yeah, so what about you? What do you think?
I agree with you for the most part. I do feel like I don't think it's something we will ever have again. Maybe not for a while.
Yeah.
I do think that there is a way. I just think that it's going to take this whole idea of having a leader or somebody to bring everybody together, I think that idea is outdated to keep up with this newer generation. I think for them, they may rally around a cause. They may rally around an agenda. But I don't think that it's going to be a person that brings everybody together and influences everyone.
Yeah.
I don't see that. I could be wrong. Because, hey, they say history repeats itself. So I could be wrong in that. But I do think that they might come together for an agenda.
Yeah.
I just think that, like you said, with so much technology and having so much access and not really being oppressed in a way like our parents were, or not really being held back in a way like our parents were, I feel like it's really not a whole lot of fight when it comes to certain things. But then again, you see them stand up when it comes to, we not going to acknowledge, the trans community. Or, they want to have all these different labels. You will see the younger generations fighting for that. And so that's what I mean when I say I think they'll get behind an agenda and all be on the same accord. And I think that's what is needed for the Black community. There needs to be an agenda that the Black community can get behind. So, and not just like racism, because like we're saying, racism looks different for everybody. So, and we have some people that have never experienced it or live in diverse areas, and it can't be that anymore. It has to be something else that they feel like, and by they I mean younger people, that they feel like it's something that they can rally behind. I feel like pushing the needle forward as far as community, I feel like that's a young person's game. Because we have too much to lose. Like you said, you're not willing to put your life on the line and to put your kids in a position of, we might lose our mom because she's out being an activist.
Yeah.
Most of us are in that same boat. There may be some outliers, but most of us are in that same boat. I really think it's a young person's game.
Yeah.
Somebody who still is in a place where they're old enough to be educated and understand what's going on, but they're young enough to not have so many responsibilities that they can be reckless. And people may disagree with me on that. Fair. But that's just my opinion. Like where we are now, like we're not in the 60s, the 70s. We're at a time where we are kind of bogged down with the responsibility of taking care of our families, going to work every day. We don't really have the security to be able to boycott something. Not when I'm sitting up here boycotting, but y'all not boycotting, and my kids aren't eating, but your kids are eating, and half of y'all don't agree with what's going on, half of y'all do. Nobody's on the same page. Why am I going to put myself out there?
Fair.
At the end of the day, it ends up not making a difference. So my children, we stopped eating McDonald's. We stopped having our conveniences. I stopped shopping at Walmart. My kids went without. And nothing happened because everybody wasn't doing
everything. So this is the issue with, I think, the things that they're getting behind is not a singular, I'm just going to use this as the word to gather everything. It's not a singular race thing, right? So trans, it really is, if you really see who's behind it, it's not like we are at the forefront of what's behind it, right? White men are at the forefront of the trans community movement. Sorry, not white men, but trans men more often than not. Black people's trans, non-binary, all the things, their first thing to do is to mind their business and figure out how to live where it doesn't affect them. Now, yes, I'm going to support you, but I also know I'm still a Black person in America. Number one. So I think that the reason that there is no singular issue that we have to get behind outside of racism, right? And so I think the difference, especially with the 60s, the 70s, there was a place for everybody to commune to get the same message, right? everybody was going to church on Sunday. So Reverend Martin Luther King was going to this church, or this other reverend was talking to him, or there was people believed in this religion. Now this person is speaking from the same type of religion. So I can get behind him because he is married. He is doing this. He's doing that. And now he's also a reverend. They held that man in such high regards. Malcolm X. Nobody was checking for him. And then he became a Muslim. He got into his community and was speaking the language and talking about Allah and what his expectation was for his people. It brought his people to him within his religion. So he was able to go to the different, not synagogues, mosques, to be able to have these conversations. Right now, you have so many different avenues in which African American people get their information, what they want to assimilate to. If they're like, no, I don't want to deal with a struggle, so I want to be the closest to whiteness that I can be. I don't like myself, so I want to be as closest to everything else except who I am, because I've not been taught how to love myself. I've not been encouraged. The world isn't encouraging of us to be better, right? So coming behind something, there's nothing singular, in my opinion, I could be wrong, for Black people outside of, we are an oppressed race. And if everybody doesn't feel the same way, because this is a millionaire stock maker, this is this, that, and the fourth, literally, even with Madam C.J. Walker, with everybody else, they understood. It wasn't like, oh, their parents was able to put them in private school and they kept going and kept going. She was a sharecropper first. So she knows, yeah, I also remember it's like, I'm not far removed from my parents being sold off. I'm not far removed from, I might have $1 million, but I still can't drink out this water fountain. There's no...
Oh, I have $1 million, but my cousin that I grew up with don't have $1 million.
I got $1 million and I still get stopped by the police because I have a nice vehicle. Mm-hmm. These are things that happen but aren't happening to the wealthiest of the wealthy, right? Mm-hmm. So your mindset is, if I get that wealthy, I'm above it all. Mm-hmm. To a certain point, because now you're on a lot of us weren't doing better than our Caucasian counterpart. Mm-hmm. And so now that role has been reversed, and it's like, oh no, you can aspire and accomplish
and even
all
surpass
things.
Yeah. And
so now it's like, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna just go ahead, just like Black women have done, and Black men. I'm gonna go ahead and go to college. I'm gonna go ahead and get into these stocks. I'm going to read these books because I want to see what the other side is doing. Mm-hmm. And once that door is open to the other side, you can say, okay, I see what the other side is doing. Let me go teach somebody. I'm going to give you what I did, but I don't got time to teach you how to do it. You got to do the same work that I did. I think that we are we've been separated as a people so much by giving a few a little bit more to the point where it's like, well, shit, I'm not going, like, my family has gotten out of there and I refuse to allow my family to go back. And I think sometimes you forget, like, going back doesn't mean you stay there. Teach one to keep on going.
She was going back to pull people out.
And as she said, she could probably have gotten more people if they didn't think they were slaves. Mm-hmm. Or if they actually thought, like, they didn't think that they were enslaved. They lived a happy life.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with that. We had an hour and 4 minutes, but I feel like we got 10 minutes that we got to cut out.
Okay.
Let's just do it. Let's do it. So, we're going to talk about this. Lighten it up a little. My parents wanted to do a cruise for the holidays. They invited me, 25 female, my boyfriend, 27 male, my brother, 28 male, and his girlfriend, 26 female. My brother, let's call him James, has always been the golden child. Some backstory. You okay with backstory?
Yes.
Back in high school, when James was discovered to be selling pills, He was just going through a phase. Meanwhile, when I got caught smoking weed, my parents threatened to kick me out. James lost his scholarship, dropped out of college 3 different times, but he's still perfect. I graduated a semester late, and I was considered to didn't try as hard or didn't try hard enough. James still lives in the state where he attended college, and I live in my home state near my parents. He doesn't work. He's not currently in school. My parents buy him flights all the time to come and visit, but they don't buy me a flight to go see him or go anywhere else. My parents send him money for rent and life necessities. He bought a $2,000 dog recently with that money. When I got my first big job at the age of 22, my parents immediately kicked me off their insurance since I had the option to get benefits through my job. James was on their insurance until he turned 26. Last year, I got laid off and moved back in with my parents to save money. When I got my new job, my parents told me I needed to pay $10,000 in back rent, which was never discussed previously. I did finish paying it off recently and moved in with my boyfriend. This has been a pattern my whole life. James gets everything handed to him, and I have to work my ass off. So now to the cruise. My parents said they wanted to do this and bought tickets for themselves, James and his girlfriend. They told me I had to get my own ticket since I have a well-paying job, and I was super upset. I told them this wasn't fair, that I was the only one who had to buy their own ticket. My boyfriend couldn't come due to him already having holiday plans with his family. My parents said I was acting spoiled and that green wasn't a good look on me. I'm so tired of hearing that phrase at this point. They said it's not like I had to get a nice room because we would be outside majority of the time anyway, which is true. But then why get James a room? I decided I had enough and wasn't going. But here's where I may be the asshole. I let them continue thinking for months that I was going. Then on the night before they left, they said for me to get to their house by 8 a.m. so we could start the drive to the port. At 8:30 that day, they start messaging me asking me where I am. I texted them, since you don't want to put in the effort to have me join you, I will be joining my boyfriend and his family for Thanksgiving instead. Have a nice trip with your favorite child. I then muted the chat. I talked to some of my friends about this, and some said it was petty of me to cancel with no warning. Others said I should have sucked it up and went since I would have had a good time. And I probably would have. They've been on the cruise for a couple of days now, and I'm starting to regret how I handled things. Yeah, I probably would have had fun, and it's not like I couldn't afford the ticket. Also, I could have handled the delivery better. But at the same time, I'm sick of them treating me like this. So, am I the asshole for canceling on my family vacation?
So I don't think she's the asshole. I do believe that it was an immature way of handling things. I probably would have still waited a minute. And I would have just, it may have been like 2 or 3 weeks before. Maybe a month. Maybe it's a month.
Okay.
The next time they talked about the cruise, like, oh, I'm so ready for the cruise. And I would just be like, oh, just FYI, I will not be attending because I'm at a space where whatever. And then
left it at that.
But truly set up a boundary, that would be the last time that you would have the opportunity to make me feel any kind of way. And start now you've been in a space where you've been laid off before, you had to move back home. Save your coins. So that you will not, that's not going to be a thing that you'll have to do again.
Yeah. But
I'm not going to say that she's, because I can understand, like, like when you're reading this, I finally, like, I in the beginning I was kind of like, because she was saying certain things, and I was like, nah, because I've been there, right?
What about the parental part? What about the part of you that's a mom? having kids in different spaces and at different levels, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
How, like, seeing this situation, is there any part of you that understands where the parents are coming from?
Hell no.
Okay.
No. That is the life that I understand.
Okay.
The writer's life is a full life that I understand.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's no reason that your children should feel, so I'll say this. The girls always say to me, I treat the boys better, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm softer on them,
Mm-hmm.
right? But like I keep trying to explain to them, because you're like, the way that you treated me and Justin when we were younger, this, that, and the fourth. I was like, well, first of all, I was younger as well. So I wasn't, like, you all were the first of me being a parent. And I was trying to overcorrect the things that I felt was wrong with my own parenting, but in the midst of that, not knowing, like, I don't want to discipline you, but you need the discipline. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So trying to figure out the happy medium in that. Also not understanding when gentle parenting should come in, when it shouldn't come, like those different things. So it's also, if I was the exact same parent, that means I didn't learn nothing.
Learn anything.
I didn't have any maturing, and
evolve.
I honestly wouldn't be the parent that you have and the evolving that I've done with you. But there's no reason that you should do so much for just one of your children, because it does make for to add trauma to a person, right? That's the people that's supposed to love you the most, that you look up to, that you want to make happy, that you can never make happy. It does do something to your psyche.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think parents that do that, that sucks. It hurts the child in their relationship, because you always start to look for someone, and that person, you will want them to be accepting of you and to love you and to give you. And the one with that one person does it, they can treat you wrong, but you still are looking for that because they've shown it to you. Her parents are fucked up, but I think the way she handled it, I still wouldn't have gone, but I would have said something.
I think I kind of agree. But I also think she only 28. You know what I'm saying? So it would be nice if she was more mature, but I feel like she young.
I mean, no, so I fully understand that, right? And this is me being 38. So 10 years, full 10-year difference.
Yeah.
I do remember when my parents done pissed me off, and I turned off my location at 25, 35, saying, like, and it'd be like, why you turn your location? Why do you care so much? Why you stay in my business so bad? Like, you want, the thing that I think with parents and children, right? So the hurt child wants to be treated as an equal.
Yeah.
Right? The parents want to treat you as an adult because they see you as an adult and they want you to do all of the adult things. But then they also see this other person as a child in an adult's body. And you being the sibling is like, that's a full adult. Why do you have higher expectations for me and not for them? And me just saying that just made me think about, like, a little off topic, but roll with me. How everybody has these high expectations for Michelle Obama about not going to the inauguration, this, that, and the fourth. But Trump did the same thing, and they are clapping for him to do it. So the person that you love the most, and I hate this, this is what it sounds like, the person that you love the most,
get away with anything.
And you're holding somebody else that you really don't like at a higher regard, because I don't think it's the fact that she makes the son feel a certain kind of way. I feel like she makes the parents feel a certain kind of way because she doesn't need them.
So I was thinking something different, but I feel like you might be onto something. What I was thinking was, I have a little bit of empathy for the parents because of what you said before. You do evolve. So this is her older brother that is not, he don't got his shit together. And I feel like maybe the parents spoiled him. And so when they had her, they're like, we not spoiling her. Like, we fucked up with this one, but she gonna be independent. You know, and I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm just saying that I can maybe see what they were trying to do, but instead of it landing how they wanted it to land, it landed as her feeling like he's the golden child. But I'm just going to speculate here. Could it be that as the parents, they might be like, okay, we spoiled him. We didn't really give him the tools. We fucked up with that first one. And we got to eat that because we didn't give him the tools and we didn't do what needed to be done. Now he's behind the 8 ball and that's on us. So they may feel a certain obligation because you can't, if you didn't do what you needed to do as a parent, you can't throw him out to the wolves. Now you got to fix that.
But see, the issue with that is they already knew, because what's the age difference?
She's 25.
That baby, he wasn't like he was 15. And
the whole process, meaning like he's been spoiled throughout the whole process. And maybe they're looking at this second child and saying, we spoiled here, we're not going to spoil here.
I think that, again, if it was a 10-year age difference, I could see that.
They had only 3 years where they could have made the correction.
At 3 years old, and you see this other, like, you see him doing certain things that you don't like, and now you have this other baby coming up, you still have, that baby ain't even started school yet. You still have plenty of time to correct the situation. From what my girls tell me, and then also having a brother being my old, like, from my parents' marriage, my oldest brother and myself, my mother treated my brother as if he walked on water for a long time. It would, oh, Terrence doesn't like this, I'm gonna fix a whole nother meal. Kendra don't like this, you need to go make you a sandwich or something. I was working, I didn't do my chores the Friday before I went to work, fussed me out. Terrence been upstairs in his drawers all day, and he didn't do his chores either. I remember this is the thing that changed my mindset on how I did things. My sister went downstairs and was like, well, when she fussed me out or whatever, I remember this like it was yesterday. Like, you know how you have certain pinnacle moments in your life? This was one of them for me. And so she said to my mom, like, why are you yelling at Kendra? She went to work. Terrence is upstairs in his drawers. And she was like, well, the world's not going to be kind to Kendra, so I need her to get used to it.
Wow.
Or understand that, or be better than him. And do what she has to do, because the world is not going to baby her. And the world does baby men. And coddle them. Coddle their feelings. And when she said that, and I think maybe that also rubs off on like, wow, I want the girls to be so self-sufficient, so can do the things and blah, blah, blah. But understanding that also creates a whole nother monster on the back end. I think that's what her parents were doing. Boys are a sacred type of thing.
So you think it's sexist?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, just like boys can, it's ingrained in everything. You go to church, boy get somebody pregnant, the boy still doing all the things. She the one got to sit down. She the one got to go hide. She the one that got to go to grandma's house for 6 months until after she had a baby, but he still been in school and he done got somebody else pregnant.
Right.
Oh, well, boys will be boys.
Yeah.
It's...
And the father, like, you allowing this?
Yes. My brother had a girl in the house, and he was like, just don't let your mother find out. I have a boy in the house, and he's standing at the door like this. What's going on? I'm like, he had somebody spend the night, though, bro.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. It's definitely a double standard.
Yeah, it's craziness. It's crazy work.
I never experienced that, but from an outside perspective looking in, I could see how that would be irritating. Honestly, I was probably on the brother side. If my sister were here and my brother, they would agree that grandparents thought that I was the golden child and I couldn't do anything wrong. But I was not bad. I didn't do nothing wrong.
But that's what I'm saying. So this is the difference. You selling pills and I'm smoking weed. We're doing something both negative, but I'm doing something that's okay. Smoking weed with my friends, whatever.
Right. And neither one of them is justified. Both of them should be addressed. It's both wrong.
What he's doing is affecting
other people.
So
that's crazy to say that he's going through a phase for selling pills. That's
what I'm
wild.
saying. No, it's crazy work. So no, I don't think she's the asshole. But now, at 25, I mean, sometimes you just handle stuff negatively, and I know it's going to then affect the dynamics of the relationship. But I feel like it should. I feel like this is her not knowing how to effectively set boundaries, and she set a boundary.
Yeah,
in a
good
very
for her.
harsh way, and that's what she had to do.
Good for her. It may have been a little immature, but she is immature. I mean, not in a negative way, but like she's not immature. She's inexperienced.
It's the thing is, she's not protecting her adult self. She's protecting that child, and the child unleashes sometimes as a child.
And I think there's a part of it that wanted revenge, like because you waited to the last minute. I want to hurt their feelings.
I want you. And the thing is, the hard part of it is, and I think that in her heart of hearts, she knows it might not. It probably didn't. Because they was really with the person. Like you were an add-on, so it didn't look bad. But you were not wanted.
That is hurtful.
Yeah,
that's hurtful.
And so if your friends don't see it like that, girl, find you some new friends.
No, I wouldn't say that. Dang. I don't think her friends gave her bad advice. I think her friends are just trying to protect her relationship with her parents. Like, as a friend, I'm not going to tell you, fuck your parents. You shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say like, all right, well, you could have handled it differently. Or you probably would have had a good time if you went. Because at the end of the day, while you're setting boundaries and you have your personal issues with your family, I don't think as a friend it's my place for me to tell you to completely disengage from your family.
I'm not going to tell you that, but I'm also not going to tell you to go on a trip where I know if your brother asks for something, your parents are going to pay for it, and the responsibility of your happiness is only solely on you. I'm not going to put you in as my friend. I would have probably more than likely said, I don't think you should go, because all it's going to do is reiterate, even on vacation, something that you don't want.
Fine, but also she even said herself, I probably would have had fun.
She knows she wouldn't. So this is what we end up doing, right? You don't have fun when you're home. You haven't had fun these last 4 months. So you telling me miraculously you're going to forget that he paid for his ticket. You're going to see what room he may have, and you may have a smaller, jankier room, because now what they paid for 2 people, you are by yourself paying for the same. So you may get an interior and he got a balcony. That whole trip is a reminder of the bullshit over and over and over again. And then when you meet new people, oh, that's your family. Oh, you guys look like such a great family. And in your mind, you're going to be like,
yeah, it's a constant reminder. True, but I was just thinking of like, if we go into Cancun or whatever, I can go to Cancun and have experiences in Cancun and have fun, even though I'm on this fucked up family trip. I think that's what her friends were trying to say. Like, girl, you would still have fun because you're going to be in Cancun.
I think that people think that the location changes the situation, right? It would be the same thing as if Mari owed you money and your mother just forced you to pay her $10,000. You have the money, but it's still like, I never talked to you about paying this money back. You just pay for this for her. So the money, basically the money, that $10,000 I just gave you, 2 of that just went to her to blow on a damn dog. You paying his rent, this, that, and the fourth, and then y'all now on vacation, and she whooping it up with her boyfriend,
right?
In which they not even family, and they didn't have to pay for their own ticket. I'm your blood child,
yeah.
And we gonna be on the beach, and as soon as he say, "Oh, I want a drink," You're going to go buy it. And I would like something too. Oh, where's your money? You telling me you going to have a good time on that trip? Absolutely not.
Yeah. True.
You might as well just go by yourself.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. She'd be better off going by herself.
Because it's going to be a constant reminder of some bullshit.
Yeah, well, good for her for setting the boundary.
Yeah, it's no right time or wrong time to set a boundary.
I agree with that. And was that?
And then, that's another great episode. We started down here, we came back up, we came back down.
Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button, tell a friend to tell a friend, get in the comments. And
tell us what you think. Do you think she's the asshole? How would you have maybe handled it? I know we're a little older and mature. Let the young people talk too.
True that. We'll drink to that.